So nobody likes to get banned, right? Like when we're talking about video games, probably the worst offense that you could give anyone that actively plays them would probably be stopping them from being able to access the game in some way, shape, or form. Or just finding the most creative ways to implement more paywalls, whichever comes first. But being outright banned for what you did on the game is a pretty extreme way of being punished for something bad, and most of the time it takes a bit of effort to happen. Most games will usually let you go with a slap on the wrist or maybe even a game message telling you to chill out, but to get an outright ban just shows that they just don't really like you. That's part of the reason why seeing Steam accounts with VAC bans feels like seeing a real-time criminal record. You see that on someone's profile and you just know they've been in some devious shit. But just like how Valve is trying to crack down on keeping players from cheating on their games, right now Microsoft is kind of on the same type of timing. Instead, only they're trying to keep players from cheating the law. Now right now Microsoft is still on the high horse, coming down from a few weeks of taking straight W's in the media. They won against the FTC in their Activision Blizzard deal, ended Xbox Live and launched a second Game Pass, and even finally got to get Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox. So they've been on a winning streak, and they definitely deserve their praise for that, especially after bombing in the media for the first half of the year. But even though right now the company looks good in the public eye, doesn't mean that internally, aka within their player base, everything is all flowers and roses. You see, Xbox players haven't been having a good time lately, since a good number of them have been receiving outright temporary bans for doing something that the company has spent a good amount of time trying to prevent, which is the use of emulators on the console. Now some of you might remember that I talked about something similar to this a few months ago when this story first broke news, because I'm assuming all of you have post notifications and are subscribed to the channel. Right? And basically, because people were using the Xbox's ability to download apps outside of the official market, they had to ban the use of emulators on the platform, because obviously most people were illegally downloading and playing these games through the emulators. Allegedly. Gotcha. For some time after that, the only way to access the emulators on Xbox was through the developer mode of the console, which was unlocked through a $20 payment to Microsoft that nobody felt like paying. That was for a time though. Recently, the community did what the community usually does and found a workaround that allowed for the majority of players to get their emulators back even after the official banning of them. But unfortunately, this is some serious business that Xbox has their hands on and can't really turn a blind eye to it, since the majority of emulated games probably aren't even from their old platform and instead from others like PlayStations or Nintendos. And when the words Nintendo and copyright are in the same sentence, all the fun just dies. So as a punishment for players using workarounds for the emulators, they've been sentenced to account bans up to 15 days, revoking access to pretty much all main online features that come with an Xbox account. An action that's caused a lot of uproar among many Xbox players on social media. Now, like I said the last time when Xbox went ballistics on the people that want to enjoy the games, it's gotta be hella inconvenient for people who bought an Xbox for, their emulation purposes. Back when the console was first getting rolled out, that was one of the console's main selling points, but now Microsoft cares about copyright and piracy and all that other bullshit. It should still be noted though that for the time being, you can still access the emulators from the developer mode if you're really desperate, but I feel like that's only going to last for so long, since Microsoft seems to be really cracking down on everything. So that's pretty much everything that's going on right now with the bans and Microsoft. Of course, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the future, but in the meantime, Xbox players, just come down to PC for the emulation, man. It's way easier and you have a lot more options than what's being given right now on Xbox. But hey man, that's just my advice. Hopefully in the future, Xbox can sort of find some sort of middle ground for the Xbox players that want to use the emulators. So what do you guys think about this ban of emulation, man? Feel free to comment down below, and as always, leave a like on the video, subscribe, check out the Patreon if you're interested, and I'll see you on the next one.